Do you want to eat sugar and be healthier for doing it? Stick around and I'll teach you how. Hi, I'm Rod, this is Inner Alchemy, and today I'm going to teach you how you can make your own sugar at home that not only tastes great, but improves your health every time you eat it. Now, if you're ready to learn how to increase and optimize your health easy, cheaply, and safely at home, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so you're notified when the next video is up. 200 years ago, the average American ate 2 grams of sugar a day. Fast forward to today, and we're eating almost 200 grams of sugar a day. So I'm no math scientist, but that's an increase of 100 times as much sugar as we were 200 years ago. Humans haven't evolved to eat that much sugar a day, and I'm sure by now you're all aware of the dangers of eating excess sugar. Now, excess sugar is bad, but it also gets much worse than just excess sugar. You see, there are other products labeled artificial sweeteners that generally are much worse than sugars for the body. Yes, they may be low or no calories, but there's a lot of hidden dangers in them as well. But there are 2 in particular that I'm going to touch on very briefly. The first one is aspartame, and this is made famous by Monsanto. It also goes under the name of Equal or NutraSweet and a lot of other ingredient names that may be listed just as an artificial sweetener. So it may not just say aspartame. And so what they do to create aspartame is they take the bacteria, E. coli, we all know that's bad, then they genetically modify that bacteria, then they extract its poo, and then they make aspartame out of the poo of E. coli bacteria. Yum! We all know we want to eat that. The other artificial sweetener that I'm going to touch on is sucralose, which also goes under Splenda, and once again, it's got quite a few different ingredient names as well. What sucralose is, so sucra meaning sugar, sucralose is sugar that has had the hydrogen and oxygen molecules extracted out and replaced with chlorine. So basically it's chlorinated sugar. So yes, the calories aren't there, however, you're basically drinking chlorine. Stay away from those 2. They're the 2 worst that I know of. There may be more. So the next step up from artificial sweeteners are just normal sugars. So standard, your brown sugar will be better than white sugar, your coconut sugar will be better than brown sugar. However, these are all, they're not good for you. They're all processed. None of them are whole foods. Some are better for you than others, but that's not to say they're good for you. And that's the case of coconut sugar. Maple syrup is okay, but you don't want to be having too much of it. It's just empty calories. Your body's not taking nutrition from it. However, there are a couple of natural sweeteners that are amazing. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can make the best one. Okay, so what you want to do, head to Aldi, grab yourself a bag of dates, $1.50, easy done. And you want equal measurements of dates to water. So I'm doing half a cup, throw in the dates, and real quick, what I'm going to do is just make sure there aren't any seeds in the dates. So just give them a little chop. These are mechanically seeded, so some do slip through and you don't want to be grinding up seeds. I've done that before and it's not nice, guys. So throw those in a little cup, throw in some water, equal amounts of dates to water. So I've got half a cup of dates to half a cup of water. Throwing that in and just letting it soak. You don't need to let it soak. However, I have found that when you do soak your dates and then you blend them, it is a lot smoother. The next thing we're going to do is, let's go the same amount as well, half a cup. Maybe I'll do 2 cups, maybe I'll do a cup. Yeah, that's enough. And same again, I want to make sure there's no dates, no seeds in the dates. And just giving them a little chop, it'll help them dry out a little bit easier. So I'll be back once these are chopped with the next step. So I've now chopped a cup of dates. All I'm going to do is throw them into the oven until they're dried through. I've got my oven on 175 and it'll probably be about half an hour to 45 minutes. Just making sure they don't burn, and once they're heated up, I'll pull them out and we'll get back to it then. Dates have been in the oven for roughly about half hour now. All I've done is just cool them down, so they're now rock hard. When you first pull them out of the oven, they're going to be very soft because they're still hot, but once they cool, they'll be rock hard. Bearing in mind, you just want to make sure they're not burning, so keep an eye on them. From this point, all we do is we're grabbing the blender and throwing the dates straight in. And now we just blend them up. Okay, so that's obviously now a powder with all that coming out. And then we just want to transfer it to a jar. Okay, that is date sugar done. It is the first lot. So this is what it looks like. There you go. So shouldn't be hard. It should just fall apart like sugar. And 1 cup of dates gave me that much sugar. If you can see through the reflection, there we go. So that is date sugar. All I've done in the oven, half hour, maybe a tad longer for 175, shaking it a few times to make sure it's not burning. Now, why do I recommend this over normal sugar? One, it's a whole food, so it's going to be giving you fiber, and dates are amazing for fiber and helping everything move through. The next one is dates are very, very high in antioxidants. So by consuming this, you're getting a lot of antioxidants, getting a lot of fiber. It's high in potassium. It's a whole food, there's no additives, completely natural. And if you are diabetic, it's safe to consume. It has a low GI value. However, if you are diabetic, be smart, don't overdo it. Have a little bit, test your blood. If it's fine, the next day come back, have a little bit more, retest. And if it's fine, then you can keep going up like that. But you don't want to overdo it. You want to be smart with this stuff, guys. The only problem with this is, as it is a whole food and it's just blended up and it's dried, it's not going to completely dissolve. It will, a lot of it will, but not all of it. So if you're having your teas and your coffees, or you want something that is going to completely dissolve, it brings us to the next one. So I've got half a cup of dates to half a cup of water, straight in the blender, lid on, and blend. So here we go. There is date sugar again. Now, it is going to be a little bit clumpy, but it's not going to matter. I generally only use this. Very rarely will I make hard date sugar. I use this for nearly everything. If you do need the dry sugar though, is where that one will come in. So what I've done is basically I don't have any maple syrup, I don't have any sugar in my kitchen. If any recipe calls for sugar, I'll use this. If a recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of sugar, generally I'll use 2 teaspoons, but it's not a big deal. So just to recap, stay away from your sugars, even your artificial sugars. Start making your own sugars at home just from dates. One thing I will quickly touch on before we go is storage. So I'll pop that in a jar and throw it in the fridge. The powder, generally I'll just leave it out. You can throw it in the fridge if you want to keep it for longer, but I'll just keep it out, keep it on the shelf, keep it in the glass jar, and it'll be good to go when you want it. It may get a little bit hard, but just break it up, shake it, and it'll turn back to the way it was. So if this video has helped you guys, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you've tried dates as a sweetener, throw it in the comments, because I'm sure there's a few people watching that don't like dates. I personally never used to like dates. I now love them. So if you eat your sugars from dates, throw it in the comments and just let us know what you think of it. If you have tried it, if you haven't tried it, let us know if you're going to. And that's it for this one, guys. Thanks a lot and stay tuned for the next video.